Hello, everybody. My name's Rick McCutcheon. I'm a Dynamics 365 MVP. And today on Partner Talks, I have Artur Zielinski from CRM Bot. Arthur, introduce yourself and tell us all about your company.
Hi, everybody. Yes, my name is Artur Zielinski. I'm a co-founder of CRM Bot, a new startup. We're based in the UK. We're a bunch of, Microsoft Dynamics experts. I'm a solution architect. My colleagues, partners are, some of more technically minded. And what CRM Bot is really, in a nutshell, it's a ISV extension to Microsoft Dynamics or Dataverse that enables any organization that uses these technologies to build a fully equipped enterprise level conversational AI agent out of their own system without actually leaving their familiar environment. So it's almost very similar to how portals or click dimensions enable you to build build applications with, whether it's email or whether it's an actual website, you build them from Dynamics. It's very similar a story with CRM Bot.
So Arthur, I was on your site this morning and I got introduced to a young lady who was a chatbot, and she asked me who I was and what I was looking for. And I actually found this kind of interesting. So let's talk about, some of the use cases for your bot.
Yeah, so Rick, we're constantly adding functionality to our app, and video is one of the channels that we are looking to explore for quite some time. We also offer audio capabilities as well as standard text and various different channels. But for a specific use case of lead generation, when your website is the main place for it, I mean, we found video to be quite powerful in terms of getting that initial engagement. When you start interacting with the avatar, you will get down to being able to, for example, book a meeting with me or leaving your details or going through some of the more traditional parts where, you've got to go down the exploratory route or you go down the estimator route, and it's all sort of encompassed by this sort of avatar persona. And the really cool part is that you can actually adapt that video capability to fit different voices, different languages, different genders. So you can actually build, this is not the only avatar that we can use. There are hundreds out there, and you can actually, if you're really serious about this, what we can also do is actually replace that with a video recording. So that's the bit where you can actually have a real person interacting as well. So that's an option as well. But that's only a small part of our product, really. It's more of a visual candy.
Okay, so we were talking before about this earlier, and I can see the customer service scenario, but I kind of like the sales scenario because they can come in and say, hi, who am I? Introduce themselves and say, so what are you interested in? Which product? Which format do you run on? Do you run on GP, NAV, or F&O, right? So it's kind of interesting and something you don't see every day. And I think the capture rate's going to be much higher on that than you traditionally fill out a web form or you're chatting in a chat box.
Absolutely, and what this is for is really, if you think it's somewhere in between a personal selling and sort of e-commerce. And so in e-commerce scenario, you go in and you've got a list of things and you pick, like in a pizza place, I always thought chatbots for food delivery. So when you need a big menu and you need options, it's not the right fit. But for consultative selling like this is, where we need to actually advise you, take you through different options, that sort of video conversation is much warmer and much more retaining the customer, the potential customers, than a standard form. And this is really where we position CRM Bot, that it's not just a chatbot, but it's also a portal replacement as well as a form design replacement, because it truly allows you to build very natural very dialogues that sound and actually act very naturally. So if you say something 3 steps before, we can actually take that bit of information and adapt what we're going to say down the line. We've got capability of doing that both in browser on a client validation side. So for example, if you enter your email address and it doesn't sound like an email address, we don't need to actually call the server to do that. We can do it using regex on the client side. But more importantly, every time somebody interacts, it triggers our Power Automate connector. And as you know, with Power Automate, you can do pretty much anything. And the possibilities are endless. So you've mentioned customer service, you've mentioned sales. There is obviously loads of use cases there. But hundreds of other things, even internal use cases, training, HR. We talk to a lot of organizations who are interested in more of a transactional side, where they can want to take advantage of the proactive messaging that we offer. And obviously, there is still a big interest from a traditional Q&A type chatbots and the standard sort of use cases that you've seen chatbots as the sort of data entry points into a system.
So, and you're on the Dataverse, which is the underlying code for Dynamics and for Power Apps. Talk a little bit about, once somebody's on your platform, can they customize it themselves, and can they sort of build their own scripts and things?
Absolutely, yes. So when you actually go and get our solution, which I'll talk about in a sec, how you can do that, but it's very straightforward. You can download it from App Stores now. And after you do that, you're actually loaded with some example data that contains a example showcase chatbot, which you're free to modify it however you want. And you can absolutely go and add new intents and try to build a conversation that way. What we also do, and what we highly recommend to, I would say, more mature organizations, people who potentially know what they want, but they don't quite know how to get there, is to contact us, and we will actually spend, we say up to 7 days, but it can even go higher, to actually work on something together with you. There is no commitment to buy. It's absolutely free. It's essentially POC work, as we call it, prototype. There is no commitment to buy or anything like that. It helps us to talk to potential organizations about their use cases, and then you can actually make an informed decision whether you like the shape of that and actually take it forward and improve it. We find that a lot of companies, I think, are very suited to adapting a chatbot that already works, but are not perhaps as well suited to building an effective chatbot from scratch, which is what our competition, by the way, offers. So if you want to learn how to do it from scratch yourself, you can absolutely can, and there is loads of materials. But we do recommend that you at least contact us, because we can give you a helping hand if it's necessary.
Okay, fantastic. And Artur, do you work with Microsoft partners?
We do, of course, yes. So we're really, really interested in talking to any Microsoft partner that may have either internal or external interest in chatbots. And what we mean by that is either maybe serving organizations that have B2C industry style, so any local government hubs, hospitality, financial services, professional services, banking, even retail, or some of the retail customers, D365 retail customers that you have, would be hugely interested in this. And as I say, the way we position this is not only a chatbot, because quite frankly, especially in Europe, the demand is picking, but it's early days. Only early adopters are looking specifically for chatbots, but a lot of people are looking to digitize their services. And what it is, it's the quickest and most efficient way, in our opinion anyway, to enable your Dynamics or your Dataverse to truly become alive, because you actually get the end users interacting with your system directly. If you think about it, it's the most seamless way you can actually interact with your customers without actually involving a typical channel. And what I mean by that is, over a decade of doing Dynamics projects, every time you talk to a client, they say, I always ask, how does the data get in? And 9 times out of 10, it's, oh, we get an email and we track an email in Outlook, or maybe there is a phone call being recorded in Dynamics. But very, very rarely somebody actually has an interface directly into your system. And I know portals obviously do it really, really well. And if you have a lot of use cases, you absolutely should explore portals. But if you want something simple, as I always like to say, use the example of a car parks operator. If I go to park my car, do I really want a new app, new portal, new account, new password? No, I don't. I just want to pay for parking, get out of there. So if you offer me your service where I already am, so on Messenger, on Teams, on Slack, on any of the other channels that we can work with, you have much higher satisfaction, from the customer, because you're not asking me to go beyond and above where I already am.
Okay. So Artur, thank you for spending time with us today on Partner Talks, and we'll be checking in the near future to find out what else is going on with CRM bots.
Thank you very much. Just before I leave, if I can actually just say this thing. So just as we speak today, I've been told Microsoft made a nice hyperlink for our, so if you want to check out the software that we discussed, all you need to do is just type in aka.ms/CRM bot. So that's our link to our solution on AppSource, and it's absolutely free for everybody to download it and have a play and get in touch. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.